Welcome back. We are live. Well, won't be live when you see this, but we are very, very happy to be back with episode 54. 54 on Adventures in Adversity. And I'm going to introduce my next guest, Jim Serrano. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
And
very
we're going to,
much.
yes, we're going to get into your story all about the adversity that you've overcome in your life. And if you have not heard this podcast before and you're a new listener, thank you for being here. This is a podcast where we feature real people, true stories, and daily inspiration with the goal of really helping anyone who's listening take whatever adversity you have in your life in any form, big, small, and help you through the stories of my guests turn that into an adventure. So that's why we're here. We keep it real. Thank you so much, Jim. We just chatted for a few minutes before we hit record, and this is our first time meeting, but we've been chatting for a few weeks, and I'm honored to be speaking to you and to be connected with you because I think you have one story that's going to resonate with people.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah,
At least one.
your energy will 100%.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
So
Thanks.
Jim, we got connected, I
hmm
believe about a couple episodes ago. I
hmm
published a podcast called about fostering wishes with my friend
Yes.
Sabine.
hmm
Yeah, and Fostering Wishes is an organization in the Bay Area that raises money and resources for Bay Area foster kids.
hmm
So I had put out an episode in a reel,
hmm
and I believe you might have seen something related to that,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you yourself
Yeah.
could very much resonate with that story for, I think, a very special and
Yes.
sacred reason. And why don't you
hmm
tell us about that, and we can get
Oh,
rolling here.
okay. So,
Yeah.
uh, it's gonna be hopefully I could do it fast. So,
No, take your time. I'm
okay.
here. Take your
Okay.
time.
Okay. So, I'm I was born in the Bay Area. I was born in San Jose,
Okay.
okay, California,
Yep.
and I was born in 1962. And in 1962, I was given up for adoption to Santa Clara County, right?
Okay.
So I was given up for adoption, and so I grew up, and so I was given up for adoption, and I was adopted at 6 months of age.
Mhm.
Um, don't ask me where I was for the first 6 months of my life because I don't know. I was in the foster care system, and I'll get into that later.
Okay.
So my parents that raised me in Gilroy, California, which is like 30 minutes away from San
Yeah.
Jose.
Yep.
So they raised me there uh, at 6 months of age. Let's see. So at 6 months of age, they bring me to Gilroy. They already had um, three kids of their own. They had my two sisters and a brother, but they
Mm-hmm.
were a lot older than me. Plus, they adopted um, another girl with me,
Oh,
but she wasn't. We weren't blood related. She was
okay.
from somebody else. But so they adopted us, and there's one thing that I found out. I always wanted to know why they adopted us.
Yeah.
Because they never sat me down. See, this is in '62. See, so a lot of things were a little different
It's
back then.
different.
Yeah,
Not as
actually,
not as open, right?
yes, and it's weird that you can look at my adoption papers, the stuff that I have. It cost them $25 to adopt me. $25. So yeah, it's a trip.
Wow.
So when they adopted me and my sister, I always used to wonder. People always ask me, "So when did you find out you were adopted, Jim?" Well, you know what? I could never really say exactly that when I figured it out. But one thing I always remember is my sisters and my family used to always make fun of me. Say they had got me at what was it? Well, back then it was Kmart instead of Target,
Okay.
right? It was at
Kmart.
Kmart, and they got me there, and I just thought it was just a joke. I didn't realize I was adopted till I started figuring it out because I didn't really look like them, right? Because
Mhm.
Yeah, see, so you look at
Yeah, 'cause
me, but I don't look like my parents at all.
like I would think you have like sort of look Pacific Islander, or what is your, and again, I hope that I'm just saying,
I'll get into that too.
okay,
I'll
because
get
I
into
was
that
like,
later.
I mean,
I get,
you look great, by the
I
way. I'm
know.
just saying.
I'll just turn 60. I'll be 64 in January.
All
So
right.
I so 62 I was born, and then once I was adopted and found out, uh okay, why didn't they tell me? Why didn't
Yeah.
they sit me down?
Yeah.
And I asked my sister that was their daughter, right? And my older sister, Susie. I asked her one day, I goes, I'm doing all these interviews and stuff like that. I always want to get the facts before I give up an answer because I don't want anyone coming back to me saying, that's not
Uh,
right, Jim.
yeah.
So what happened was, see, my mom and dad had a little boy named Georgie. They
Mm.
lost him when he was 2 years old. So he passed away. My mom was having a nervous breakdown because of that. So because my dad, cared about my mom so much
Yeah.
that they decided maybe to adopt to fill that hole
Yeah.
that my
Yeah.
mom and himself maybe was filling. Like I'm saying,
Sh-
himself maybe because
Sure.
there was another question I asked my sister. It goes, "You think Dad resented me because see, my dad never showed me any love. Never, I love you. Never hugged me. None of that stuff. I never got any of that." And she agreed a little bit with me. She said, "Well, maybe because you were a replacement. You were replacing his son that he lost, even though he had another son already.
It.
But still, it was a replacement."
Yeah.
So that's how I felt as a little
Yeah.
kid, as a replacement. And see, during my younger years, they sat down my sister, but they never sat me down to tell me. I don't understand it. I asked my sisters, why didn't they? We don't know, Jim.
Yeah.
We don't know why they didn't sit you down. So maybe that was part of it.
Yeah.
But then my sister kept on telling me, it goes, okay, but um, you changed in your early teenage years. Your whole attitude changed. You became more of a rebel. And see, when she said that, I go, okay, yeah, I did. But
Sure.
see, there's one thing that they didn't remember. They didn't know till I admitted it when I was 52 years old that the ages from 9 to 11, I was being sexually molested by an older male cousin.
Mm.
And because my relationship wasn't close with my parents, I couldn't go to tell anybody. So I kept that a secret till I was 52 years old. Till one day, on the way to get some ice cream at Baskin Robbins or whatever, we are driving up there, and something came on the radio. It was about child sexual abuse, and it hits my wife's heart hard too because she was a teacher for 25 years, and she teaches 5 year olds.
Oh, so
See,
she just, yeah.
so when she heard that right there, I said, "Tell him, Jim, tell him." So in a parking lot where we're having our ice cream, I just said, "Okay, I got to tell you guys something." He goes, "What?" He goes, "I was being molested from the ages of 9 to 11." And of course, it hit my wife hard. It hit, my daughter didn't know what. I mean, my daughter was 16 when I told her. My daughter's 39 now. It's our only child. We only have
Sure.
one daughter,
Yeah.
and so I had to tell them that I was being sexually molested. So maybe that was the reason why I became more of a rebel. But I started drinking when I was 11 years old, and people wondered, "Wow,
Well,
sixth grade, I started drinking."
I'm so sorry that
Mhm.
that happened to you, and thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And
It's something that guys are afraid to talk
yeah,
about because, especially a male, right?
totally.
Especially a male, and people used to look at Jim, the tough guy, right? And now when I do all these podcast interviews, I'm very transparent with my story, and
Yeah.
men have come to me because things that happened to them when they were children, and that's the reason why I always say doing these podcast interviews will will let the trauma defeat me. See, so they didn't know any of that when I was growing up. Like I said, I
Yeah.
didn't really get no "I love you" nothing at home, even from my mom or my dad, nobody. And so I felt resented. I felt abandoned because of being given up for adoption, right? So we kept on going through life and all that, and during my teenage years, we were just talking about this last night, from ages 16 to 17, already had gotten the weapon to go kill my abuser and to kill myself. And so people were always asking, even my wife asked me, why, how come, what stopped you? And I told her, you know what? Because I had hope that somebody would love me one day. And see, it still comes back.
And you know what? That's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay. Take your
So,
time.
that didn't happen. I just carried on with life and all that. I graduated from high school and stuff like that. And then I started um, working for a concrete ready mix company in San Jose. I drove a concrete ready mix truck. That's
Mm-hmm.
part of the story too. That's why I'm telling you about that. I
Yeah.
did it. I did it for 31 years. I started
Mm.
in 1982 and I retired in 2012.
Mm.
And um, so I did that. My dad worked for the same outfit too. He kind of got me the job there, and so he trained me. And then I started working there when I was 20. And so I drove the mixer. Then um, I met my wife on a blind date. So I met her on a blind date. We both graduated in the same high school, same
Mm-hmm.
class, class of
Yeah.
1980, Gilroy High,
Yeah.
but we didn't know each other in high
Okay.
school.
You don't recall
Oh,
each other in the
no,
halls. No.
no. So 2 years after, on a blind date, I met her at a bar. We weren't even 21, and back then it was a lot different, right?
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I met her, and then we started dating, and then we decided to get married. So we got married at 21, and then after we got married, I forgot. Oh yeah, before all that happened, one of the hardest things I had to do in my life was uh, tell her that I was adopted. So I'll always
Mm.
remember we went to this Chinese restaurant in Hollister, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Okay, Jim, it's time to tell her." And as an adoptee, you're afraid that okay, she's gonna leave me, and she's gonna think something's wrong with me. Why
Mm.
were you abandoned, right? So I told her that in the restaurant. He goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know something." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm adopted," and she just looked at me. He goes, "And?" Just like that, and
Like,
I said,
like,
"Oh, okay. Well, I'm thinking I was gonna get a whole different, reaction. Like, wow, what's wrong with you? What happened? And that was it. And I guess that was the first time I ever felt what love was about, because I never knew what it was about. Because that was the first time I wasn't abandoned or felt not loved. Right? I felt, oh, somebody actually loves me. She's not gonna abandon me. And so we got married, and after that, let's see, I was, huh, 20, no, not that 20. Shoot. So we were married and we were living in a town, Los Baños. We were living up
okay.
there in the valley.
Uh-huh.
We had bought a home up there, and then probably around, shoot, I was 36. Yeah, 36. I was watching. I think it was Oprah. I think it was Oprah.
Okay.
It was a talk show, and it was talking about these adoptees. I don't know if it was adoptees, but it was people trying to find lost loved ones.
Okay.
And so I think it was an adoptee because they showed me what to do, how to start the search.
I remember those shows and like seeing
Yes,
that and like
yes,
loving seeing these like reunions and
yeah,
like those were yes,
yeah.
yes.
So um, so I looked at it and then I told Tina, I go, I think it's time. It's time for what? But I think it's time for me to go looking. And she says, "Are you ready?" I go, "Yeah, I think I'm ready." So I guess the hardest part about it was I had to go ask my parents for any adoption papers they had. It's kind of like uh, shutting them down and abandoning them, or them thinking, I didn't appreciate. And one thing, adoptees, we're always slammed with you got to appreciate everything you've gotten. You weren't aborted, or they raised you and all that. But I was raised, but I didn't have get any love out of it. And that's
Yeah.
the first time. That's the first time I heard "I love you" from my mom, because I told her I was going to go search for my biological parents. It's the first time I heard "I love you" from either parent. That's when I was 37 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So They gave me the paperwork they had. It wasn't that much, but they gave it to me, and
Mm.
I said, okay, let's start searching. But what happened? What that show showed me was what you get asked for is non-identity information. So what that consists of
Okay.
is so this is non-identity. You could go to the county where you were born at and
Mhm.
request non-identity information. So the heading street where I worked at, it was like 2 blocks from the county records on Heading Street in San Jose.
Uh-huh.
So I drove there after work, and I went up to the seventh floor. Because, hi, I'm an adoptee. I'd like to ask for my non-identifying information. He says, okay, well, you got to fill out these forms, and it's going to take, about 6 months. Oh, okay, another 6 months.
Oh,
All right. So I fill out the paperwork, and
yeah.
what it is so it came back. All of a sudden, I went to the mailbox like a month after that.
Uh-huh.
I opened up my mailbox. This is in Los Baños, and there was this letter. It says, County of Santa Clara. And I looked at it, and I go, wow, maybe it's jury duty, or maybe I got a
Uh-huh.
ticket.
Yeah.
I didn't remember, right?
You're not
So,
expecting it. Yeah.
yeah. So I opened it up. It was my non-identity information. It was supposed to take 6 months, but it came in a month.
Okay.
So what it is it says your biological mother was 5'1", 89 pounds. She had 2 kids at the time of your birth, and she was working at a medical office, and she was living with your grandparents. And that was it. And then on the biological father's side, it says your biological father was um, 5'7", dark hair, dark eyes, medium built, went to school till the 10th grade and quit. Okay, and that was it. That's all I had. So, so
And
that's
when you,
the
how
yeah.
did
Go
you
ahead.
feel when you, I mean, what was your first, do you remember what you thought when you read that? Or you just kind of taking it in? You're like,
I'm just
okay.
taking it in, thinking, okay, now where am I going to find
What?
these people with that little bit of information, right?
Yeah.
So remember I told you I drove a concrete ready mix truck, right? I
Yeah.
delivered I delivered concrete all over the Bay Area for 30 years at all the construction
Okay.
sites, right?
Okay.
So one day I was at a job site and there's this gentleman. His name is Carlos Bryan. Okay, I've known him for 20 years. I delivered concrete to his company for 20 years, and we always talked about life. We got along. I've known him for 20 years, right? Because I was at the company for 30.
Yeah.
So he asked me, he goes, "Hey Jim, what have you been up to?" I goes, "Well, you want me to tell you the truth?" I go, "Yeah." I goes, I'm looking for my biological family." What? You mean Joe? Joe is my dad. He knew my dad, but my dad already
Okay.
retired. He
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah.
He goes, Joe's not your dad? He goes, no, I was adopted. He goes, wow, that's weird. He goes, yeah, you guys kind of didn't look like each other. I go, yeah. And then after he goes, so I told him, you got any information about your parents? I go, yeah. So I told him the information about my biological mother.
Okay.
And he looked at me and he goes, whoa. I go, Jim, what year were you born? I go, 62. And he goes, whoa. I goes, that description is a lady that I knew in the early 60s. Her name was Marie. And the exact description of my biological mother in that paper was that person, Marie, that he knew, that he had a brief affair with, and he found out that she gave up a baby for adoption. But he didn't know whose child that was. See? So, so I asked him, do you know where I could find this Marie you're talking about? He goes, no, I haven't seen her in 37 years, you know, because it was just a brief affair, yeah, or like maybe a one night stand, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'll go try and find out. It's okay, thanks. So of course back then they didn't have cell phones, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
yeah,
this was, yeah, you can't just
yeah,
like look everything
yeah.
up. Yeah.
So I ran to a phone booth. I called Tina. I goes, hey, what does it say about my biological father? I wanted her to repeat it again. 5'7", medium built, dark hair, dark eyes. That's Carlos. But there's one question that I told him that I knew. I told him, okay, all this description uh, is you, Carlos, but there's one question I have to ask you. But yeah, so you went to high school? He goes, yeah. He goes, oh, so you graduated and then went to construction? No, no, no. I quit in 10th grade. That's exactly what the piece of paper said. So that's when I told him, that's what the piece of paper says, Carlos.
What did
And
he do?
he just goes, "Well, I think you were my son," because we kind of look like each other. So,
And you knew him for 20 years.
yeah, delivering concrete to him.
And and you
And
guys,
we
oh,
were connected because we were so close, and he was such a great guy. So this happened like on a Thursday or Friday. On a Monday, I went to work, and there was another driver. His name was Johnny, and he goes, "Hey Jim, I heard about you and Carlos." I goes, "How do you know?" And he goes, "Well, I know Carlos's daughter. I lived with his daughter for 5 years, which would be your sister." And I told him. He told us the story. He goes, "No way, your sister wants to meet you." Shoot, okay. So I invited her and her son, and she was a single parent. They came to our house for the weekend, get to know him, and we're uh, uh, planning holidays together. I met his wife in Hollister and everything, and I said, okay, let's do a blood test.
yeah.
So we did a blood test, and 7 weeks later, it came in. It was negative. He wasn't my father. So everything that matched on that piece of paper matched, but he wasn't my father. Yeah.
Okay.
So it didn't match, and I had to call him that day and tell him, "Hey, our blood test came out. I'm sure you got your results too. It says that we're not blood related." Because yeah, I know, I seen that, and he got emotional, and I got emotional because I thought I found my father.
Uh,
So, so that
man.
probably was one of the worst days of my life. And so my wife just says, "Don't give up, don't give up. We're gonna keep on trying, you know." And so about 6 months, no, 4 to 6 months after that, my wife was talking to my neighbor across the street. There was a couple there, and their name were Connie and Dominic Velasco. Okay, I always remember
Okay.
those names. And my wife was going. She was talking to Connie, right?
Yeah.
Then they're talking. Sorry, they started talking about their husbands.
Yeah.
So, so all of a sudden, Connie told Tina, "Yeah, do you know that Dominic is adopted?" He goes, "He is." He goes, "Yeah." Because Jim's adopted. I mean, he went. He thought he found his dad. Oh shoot! Well, Dominic found his parents, but they were both deceased. And he goes, "You should tell Jim to go talk to Dominic." See, I knew Dominic. I played when I moved to Los Banos. I played on his softball teams. We were friends.
But you
I didn't
both
know he
didn't
was
know that you were
adopted.
adopted because you
We didn't
guys
know
don't
it.
go walking around. Hey, I mean,
Hey,
when
I'm
it just,
adopted.
yeah,
Hey,
hey, if it
yeah,
comes up, I'm sure, right?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. So,
okay.
so we did that, and I went across the street. Hey, Dominic. I goes, "Hey, Connie just told me that you were adopted." He goes, "Yeah." I goes, "I'm adopted too." He goes, "Oh shoot, you are?" Yeah. So he was telling me his story about his search. And the organization that he belonged to was Adoptees Discovery Network. And they
Okay.
had a chapter in Merced County because he lived in Merced County, right? But I was born in Santa Clara County.
Yeah.
So he
Okay.
looked it up. He looked it up, and he goes, "Hey, there's a chapter in Santa Clara County. You should go to one of the meetings." "Oh, okay." So that's when I had to go to my parents and ask them, "You got any paperwork for my adoption? I'm going to go to this group, and they're going to help me find my biological family." Of course, my dad looked at me and says, "You're a Serrano." And he goes, "Dad, I'm not a Serrano. I need to go find out who I am." He goes, "Are you prepared to find out what's out there for you?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm prepared." So, okay, here's your paperwork. So it was just paperwork from my the day I was adopted, and
Yeah.
some medical papers from Santa Clara County Adoption Agency, where I was at the hospital, and someone named me back in this. There's another part of the story. Someone back in the '60s when I was born, someone named me Freddie, and they had me under Caucasian.
Oh,
So
okay.
Caucasian and someone named me Freddie. Someone named me Freddie. So so I seen that. I said okay. So I went to the meeting. I always say this. Neil Kiley was my angel from the Lord. Neil Kiley, remember this name, Neil Kiley.
Okay.
He was the gentleman that started these meetings in Santa Clara County. It was at a Kaiser Hospital at one of their conference rooms.
That's
So we went there, went to the meeting, and there was probably about six other adoptees, and he didn't charge. He didn't charge. He just wanted to help people.
wow. That's great.
So we went and we talked for about, geez, 3 hours with
Yeah.
other adoptees.
Because so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
I mean, truly
Hmm.
someone to understand what it's like to be in your shoes.
Yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
so then uh we left the meeting. He goes, "Okay, Jim, I'll probably try pretty soon to have your mother's maiden name." I go, "Okay, how are you gonna do that?"
Yeah, like I thought we were just
Yeah.
hey, thanks
All
for
right,
the
whatever. If that's
okay,
okay,
sure. Yeah.
okay. And then of course me and Tina were like, well, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So shoot, it was probably about 3 months later. Yeah, 3 months later. He goes, "Jim, I got three names for you." What you do? He goes, "All the last names are Montoya." Okay. And he goes, "One's in LA, one's in Long Beach, and one is in San Jose. And I have all three addresses of these three persons." So he gave them to me. So I had them in my pocket, right? So remember, I delivered concrete.
Right. Okay.
So this road in San Jose was on White Road in San Jose, right across the street from James Lick High School. Okay, and there was a job site like a block down from that address that I had in my pocket. You're not supposed to do this, but I did it because I was so anxious, right? I looked, there was the address of that house in San Jose. So I said, "Yeah, what can I do? What can I do?" So I just pulled over. I was in my mixer. I was ready, empty. I
Okay.
already
Oh,
delivered the load.
yep, yep.
Yeah. So I was there, and then I walked to the door, and I knocked on it, and this guy answered the door, and I go, "Hey, did you order any concrete?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "Oh, okay. Well, I got the wrong house, I guess." And I walked away, got in my truck.
Just to see.
Yeah, just to
Hey,
see. Yeah,
and
because I was
what
desperate. I was
oh,
desperate
of course. And so
because
what
I put a facade.
of
This
course.
smile, this smile right here, it was a facade for many, many, many years. I just hid all the paint behind the smile. I mean, and so I didn't want to take the risk, so I that's why I stopped. So 2 weeks after that, Neil Kiley calls me up. He tells me I was in Gilroy visiting a cousin of mine, and he calls me from there. It was on a Friday. Yeah, I think it was on a Friday. "Jim, I found your mother." "Okay, who? Which one is it?" "It's the one in San Jose on White Road." So I had to tell him, I went to that house like 2 weeks ago. He goes, "Why?" "Well, I had to." He goes, "Oh, Jim, you're not supposed to do that." "Yeah, I know, I did it anyway." So I told him the story. So he goes, "Okay, here's the number. Her name is Noberta Montoya Dominguez." Okay. So she had three kids. At the time of my birth, she had two kids already. She had a 4 year old and a 3 year old. I
Okay.
was a brief affair, one night stand kind of thing. And that's why she gave me up. And I just found out probably about 6 months ago, which I never knew. She passed away like 3 years ago, but she never told me this. I just found out that she was sent away when she was pregnant with me because of the shame to LA, came back, gave birth to me, and then carried on with her life. So when I had the phone, I called her, and I knew my brother's names and my sister's names. I knew that. I don't know how Neil Kylie got this stuff, but he did it.
You just
And
yeah.
so she answered the phone about 8 o'clock at night and asked for Paul. Paul was my younger brother. And she goes, "No, I asked for Bobby. That's my older brother." She goes, "No, Bobby is the one who answered that door that day." See,
Okay.
so she goes, "No, I knew I had a sister, but my sister lived in Montana with her husband and her family." So I asked her just like this, "I have a question for you," because she goes, "I don't recognize your name. I know all my son's friends' names, because they're all in big time
Yeah.
into wrestling, high school wrestling.
Sure.
So they
Yep.
had a lot of friends, but she knew they all hung out like a group, right?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I asked her, "Does January 22nd, 1962 mean anything to you?" It was dead silence over the phone.
Uh-huh.
I goes, I'm gonna ask you this question one more time. Does January 22nd, 1962 mean anything to you? She goes, "Who is this? Why are you doing this to me?" He goes, "This is who you think it is. I'm not trying to disrupt your life, but I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I just want to know our medical background, which was a lie. I just wanted to know who I was, right? But I use that as an excuse because,
Yeah.
so she could stay on the phone with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she just says, I can't talk right now. Can I call you tomorrow? I go, sure, I'll call tomorrow. So I was such a wreck when I got off the phone that my in-laws had to pick me up in Gilroy, take me home to Los Banos, and me and my wife were talking in the bedroom. We were getting ready to go to bed, and all of a sudden the phone rang. It was Norberta, my biological mother. She called me. She says, "Hey, can you meet me tomorrow instead of me calling you? My kids have doctor appointments. Okay, she has doctor appointments the next day." I go, "Sure, okay, I'll meet you where at." There was this medical building across from Valley Medical in San Jose, right? So I went there about 10 o'clock in the morning, and she described what she would look like, and she would have four little kids with her, right? So I said, okay, whatever. So I seen her come out of her car with the four kids, and I just looked at her, and I didn't have no emotions. It wasn't a Hallmark movie. It was a, oh, that. It wasn't anything like that because she was a stranger to me. Plus, to be honest, I had a lot of hate in my heart because of what everything that happened to me as a child.
Of course.
So, of course, I wanted to lash out at her, right? But that didn't happen. So she goes, "Can you want to go with me to my kids' appointments?" I go, "Sure." So I went to their kids' doctor appointments, whatever. Then we left the parking lot. She was in the parking lot. She goes, "Jim, I have to tell you something." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I have to go home and tell my husband that you exist. Your siblings don't know you exist. Most of the family don't know you exist. I kept you a secret for all these years." I go, "Wow." So that was another kick in the gut. So I said, "Okay." So I said, "Okay." I gave her a hug. I says, "Well, maybe I'll see you, or maybe I won't. Because you don't know. Maybe she'll disappear. You don't know." And she called me. She called me the next day. She goes, "My husband said Paul Senior, Dominguez Senior. I had a brother's named Paul Junior, right? So she has four kids, two from her first marriage, one from her last marriage, and then me, the one that she gave up. And so he said it's not his fault for what happened to him. Tell him to come to the house and meet his brothers." So I went to the house. I met my brother Bobby, the one that answered the door, and my younger brother Paul. And so I met them, and I didn't meet Wanda because my sister, because she was living in Montana. So I got home that night, and I still was wondering, should I even ask her who those kids' names were because they were there at the house, right? So then I asked her, "Oh, by the way, are those all your grandchildren?" Now this is the part where you say that that uh, something went off in my head when I was looking at your podcast about foster care.
Uh-huh.
Those were her foster kids. My biological mother and her husband were foster parents for 25 years, and they had 500 kids come through their home. But no one ever knew about her secret in San Jose. That's why the foster care system hits me hard because I've gone to a lot of those help one child events. I just go with her, but it wasn't. Our relationship was a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because she didn't really know how to treat the kids that came to her home. She would say things like, "The way you act is the reason why your parents didn't keep you." And we used to get in arguments about it, and I used to tell her, "Just because you're a foster parent, don't you have no idea how I feel, and you have no clue what those little kids feel." Because I've seen them. I knew her for 20 years. I seen them come with their plastic bags of their clothes and their possessions in a
Which is what,
plastic bag.
yeah, in a
Yeah,
trash bag, right?
yeah, in trash bag, come into the home.
And that's what,
See, that's where always our argument was about. And like I said, it was a roller coaster relationship. I'm not gonna say, it was a great Hallmark movie because it wasn't.
it,
It wasn't.
yeah.
So after that happened, she told me. I asked her that question because I forgot all about asking her the question. I
Yeah.
asked her, hey, who's my father? Is Carlos Bryan my father? I thought maybe the blood test was wrong. We would do it
Yeah.
again.
Who's
She goes, no, that's not your father. Well, who's my father? Well, I don't know where your father is anymore because the last time I seen him was 38 years ago, right?
uh-huh.
When they had that brief affair or one night stand, whatever you call it. And my wife used to be pissed off at me all the time because I always used to call myself a bastard. And she hated that when I used to say that. And so,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I know. So,
because yeah,
I
you're
know, I
so
know,
much
I know,
more. But
I know, I
yeah, it's
know.
hard. It's
It's hard not to
it's
when
hard.
you look at the description, and that was me. So, she goes, no, your father is raw coca. See, raw coca. I have tattoos on my arms, and
Yeah. Oh
I have a
yeah.
lot of tattoos, right?
Yeah.
And this tattoo right here, right, if you can see it, right,
Uh-huh.
that's it.
Yep.
That's would have been my last name. It says Coca.
Coca. Okay.
Coca. Okay,
Coca.
so I asked her, how do I get a hold of him? She goes, well, your uncle has a furniture store downtown San Jose. It's been there for over 50 years. It's on Santa Clara and 3rd Street. It's called Hank Coca's Downtown Furniture. It was there for 50 years.
Little did you know that was
Yes. So, there's a job site right across the street from Hank
of
Coca's
course. Of course.
Downtown Furniture.
Right?
So, I walked in there
Delivering
and
cement.
yeah, I was empty.
Anyone order cement?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Okay.
So I walked in
Concrete
there and I asked for a Hank Coca. That was my no, that's my
beer.
uncle.
Uh-huh.
Right? My uncle. And the gentleman says, no. Who are you? He goes, well, my name is Jim Serrano. He goes, well, I'm Hank Coca Jr. I'm his son. Oh, okay. I said, do you know a raw Coca? And he goes, uh, yeah, that's my uncle. So, excuse me.
You're like, okay, I'm getting
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, okay.
So he goes, why? He goes, well, I'm going to come out and tell you. I think I might be his son. And he just looks at me and goes, what? Here's my number. Here's my biological mother's name, which would be her maiden name first. Or
Yep.
isn't Dominguez, there's Noberta Montoya.
Uh-huh.
Give this to your dad or your uncle if you see him. And if you want to get a hold of me, get a hold of me. So 2 weeks passed, and my
Man.
biological mother wanted to throw me a barbecue, introduce me to some of the family in San Jose. So I had the barbecue, and on the way home, me and Tina were talking, and says, "Oh well, I guess my father doesn't want to know me because look, he's had that number for 2 weeks now." Tina opens up the garage door and she goes, "You got to come listen to this message on the voice machine." I go, why? Come listen to it. So I push the button. Hi, this is Raw Coca. I think we might be father and son. You want to meet at Original Joe's for dinner? Sure.
Yes. You're
Yes.
like, yes.
So I met him.
Okay.
I met him at Original Joe's. I asked him, "Did you know anything about me?" He goes, "No, I didn't. Never knew anything about you." She never told him.
He didn't even know that you
He didn't. And I was his only child, and he was never married. He was a bachelor all his life. Bang! You got a 37-year-old daughter. I mean, a son,
yeah.
a daughter,
So
son.
he's like,
And I'm
wait.
all, uh,
So wow.
so
So how was that dinner? What
oh, so
was it
many questions. It was
different?
weird because I was looking at him, and he looks like me in the face. I do look like a Coca, and
Yeah.
he looks at me in the face, but he was a twin. He was a twin.
Oh,
So when I seen pictures of his twin, oh my God,
you look
we look like twins. We look like we could have been the father and son.
wow.
His twin looks exactly like me. Same body type, big
Same.
shoulders. Yeah, and my biological father was really thin, but
Okay.
his brother was like me,
Yeah.
big shoulders and everything,
Yeah.
And so when he and we went and did a blood test, and it came out positive, so he was my father, right?
Oh, that must have felt just to know and then
Yeah,
also be able to not only know but then be able to be like, okay,
yeah,
what can we do moving forward? Like what can we
yeah,
create?
yeah. So he invited me to meet the family in Pacifica. One of my aunts
Oh,
lived in Pacifica, so we went
beautiful.
over there. Yes, we
I love
went there.
Pacifica.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So we went there, and I met all the family, and some of the family were crying. And I go, "Why are they crying?" Because his twin had lost his battle with cancer, and I looked like
You look
she
so
came
much
back to
like
life. Yeah.
him.
And when I seen pictures of the family, I go, "Oh my God, that look just like him." And so I realized what was going on. That carried on.
Oof.
My parents and all that were still didn't want to know anything about my reunion. They didn't want to know anything about it. Nothing. They didn't want
Okay.
to know nothing.
They just,
And yeah, nothing. So I'm trying to get it with the story. So then,
oh,
a few on my 38th or 39th birthday, my biological mother wanted to throw me a surprise birthday party. So she closed a restaurant down here in Gilroy and invited 200 of my friends and stuff like that, right? But a buddy of mine blew it and told me the secret, right? So
sorry. It's like,
yeah,
sorry.
so right away I asked Tina. I goes, "Are my parents and my family going to be there?" Because yeah, they said they're going to go. He goes, "Oh, great," because I know
S-
they were uncomfortable with it, right?
so you're two kind of there
Yes,
for the first time.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I walked in to the restaurant, surprise, and I seen my mom. Her face was just nothing but anguish. I seen my dad was nothing but anger, and there was my biological mother with a big smile and her husband. I'm thinking, shit. So that night I got drunker than drunk. But I always remember one thing. I remember one thing. When my dad left, he looked at me and goes, Jim, we're going to talk about this in the morning. I go, shoot, what do I do? Now what do I do now?
You're like,
So, so the next day, I was in my bedroom where I was watching TV, and all of a sudden I felt like my heart was coming out of my chest. I collapsed. I called for Tina. I go, hey, call an ambulance. I don't know what's going on.
yeah.
Ambulance came and picked me up. They thought I had a massive heart attack. This is the day after my 30th birthday. And I was in ICU for 3 days. And this is one of this is one of the only other time I said, Lord, if you could take me now, take me now. Was here comes my parents that raised me into the room. 5 minutes later, here comes my biological mother into the room. They're both just looking at me, not saying a word to each other, just looking at me. I'm thinking, don't these people understand? And I said, I remember that day, I said, Lord, if you could take me now, please take me now. I can't take this no more. So 3 days after that, they released me and they said, okay, we think you're fine, but we heard about your story, what you're going through. You need to go to a therapist. So I went to a therapist, and right away he prescribed me Paxil antidepressants. I was on antidepressants for like 4 or 5 months. I wasn't even working, so I was on antidepressants. And then one day I went back to work. I went back to work, and there was this gentleman there, and they always remember him. It's Isaac Dominguez. He's not even related to the family, but
Yeah.
he's a guy that I knew ran a concrete pump. He goes, "Hey, you want to come to church with me? Because I heard you about your story. I know what you're going through." And I goes, "Nah, not really." He goes, but I went anyway, and
Yeah,
just
but you're like, sure.
"Oh, okay, I'll go." Yeah. So it was a highly Pentecostal church, so it was like people were going,
Yeah.
"Ah." Okay,
Yeah.
this is all these weird people, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, praise the
Totally.
Lord.
Yeah.
I said, okay, but I enjoyed the music and all that.
The music. Yeah.
Yeah, the music got to me, right? The worship and all that.
Yes.
And then so I went, and I was still on the antidepressants. And then one day we were at service, and it was in San Jose. So one day we were at service, and I started feeling anxiety coming. And I always had my medicine with me, and Tina
Hmm.
says, "Well, go take a pill."
Yeah.
So I went to the water faucet, got myself a pill, took it, and by the time I went back to my seat, I felt different. I felt something different. And I went home that day. I got all my medications, and I flushed it down the toilet. No, the disposal. All went
Hmm.
down the disposal. I had an appointment with a therapist 2 days after that. I walked into his office. I says, of course, he asked me, "How you doing, Jim? You taking your medication and all that?" I goes, "Nope." I threw it all away. He goes, "What? You can't do that." I goes,
Mm.
"Yeah, I don't need you anymore." I walked out. And that Friday, remember that program 2020? The news program. It
Oh,
was
oh,
ABC
2020. Yes. Oh, yeah,
2020.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
They had a
2020. Barbara
they had a
Walters. Yeah.
yeah, they had a special on antidepressants.
Hmm.
And one of the medications on there, they were talking about Paxil, the one I was on, that people were getting off Paxil too fast, committing suicide. I
Yeah.
threw everything away and never touched um, alcohol ever again. My last beer, I still have the picture. I saved on my phone
Of your last
of me
beer.
drinking a beer on my 38th birthday. I've haven't had a drink since then.
Good for you.
It's over 25 years of my sobriety. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
So after all that happened, I guess you could say the honeymoon was over. Um, we talked, we didn't talk, we talked, we didn't talk. I mean, she passed away, shoot, 3 years ago now. And the last 6 months of her life, she didn't talk. We didn't talk. She didn't talk to me.
Your biological
And
mom.
yeah, my biological mom.
Uh-huh.
My
Okay.
parents, the parents that raised me, my mom passed away in 2003, a long time
Okay.
ago. And
Uh-huh.
then my dad, he passed away about 12 years ago. But me and my wife took care of him for like the first 6 years of his battle with dementia. He had dementia for 10 years,
Wow.
and
How kind of you guys.
that's a disease that I don't
Tough one.
wish on anybody because it's more about the caregiver than the person with it because
A
it
lot of stress on the
oh
caregiver.
yeah. And so so we did that and carried on with life and all that and the roller coaster relationship with me and my biological mother. And like I said, she passed away like 3 years ago. And but then I started finding out more information about um like I told you, she was sent away.
Mm-hmm.
When she had pregnant with me, she was sent away to LA and came back. I never knew that.
Like
She told me,
hidden, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
just you
hidden.
just
I
kind of
was
like
hidden
hide
secret,
things.
yeah, hidden
The
secret, and
60s. Mm,
so I was like 20
mm.
years of her telling me that I was equal to her kids, which I found out I wasn't in some areas that I can't really discuss
Okay.
because I don't really like to worry about that stuff, you know.
Sure. Sure.
And so, but I realized that I wasn't that important to everybody, which I thought I was. So it's kind of like being abandoned all over again. I was abandoned twice. I was abandoned
Hmm.
twice, and everybody agrees. I mean, when you know people for 20 years and they tell you, "Oh, we're so glad that we know you. You found us," and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they disappear.
It's like a re-traumatization
Yes, yeah,
of
you kind of
what?
saying, "Wow, so all that was just a lie." It was all just a lie. And it's like, wow, I got hit. I got hit again. That's why I got tattoos on my
Yeah.
legs. One of them says, "I'm still standing. I'm still strong." That's from a movie, Antoine Fisher. It's a true
Yeah.
story. It came out 20 years ago with Denzel Washington. It's a story,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
story about him looking for his biological family. He went
Mm.
through sexual abuse and foster care. And the other one is, let your message be your mess.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's why I tell my story. And there's one reason why I tell my story. I know it's worth me telling my story, even though my past comes back again. Is like I remember I told you I train in Muay Thai, and I
Yeah.
practice. Well,
Mm.
I was in a tournament about 6 months, yeah, 6 months ago, and so it was in Sunnyvale. So I get there, and there was this young gentleman. He's probably about 23, 24. I know him from the tournaments and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And he goes, "Hey," I told him, "What's up?" He goes, "You're not a dad because the Fight Club is called Only Dads Fight Club. Uh, so not only fans, only dads,
Oh,
only dads."
I love it.
Yeah, you can see us on Facebook or Instagram. You can see
Only dads. Okay.
our fight tournaments and all that.
I
I
gotta,
just
I gotta, I
yeah
gotta follow that.
yeah. You could see us from
I'll
last
be
week.
like, "What's up, Jim?"
We had a tournament last week in Stockton. So I get there and the young man goes, "I had to tell you something." He goes, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, 2 weeks ago I listened to your podcast interview, and 2 weeks ago I wanted to commit suicide, and because of you being so transparent, you talking about you wanted to kill yourself, it stopped me. I didn't kill myself that day. This is right before I was going to start fighting. On the way home, I cried from
You,
Sunnyvale all the way to
oh,
Gilroy. I
like a
bawled like a
baby.
baby. Yes, like a baby. And I was all, okay, now I know why I'm doing this. Now I know why. And I still see the young man now, and he's doing really good. His girlfriend, all that. I look, I go, wow, this is the reason why I do this.
I have chills, like literally.
Yeah.
The that is podcasts are a powerful force in
Yes.
helping people right now.
Yes, it is.
And that is every time you share your story,
Hmm.
whether it's in person with someone,
Yeah.
podcast, like that ripple effect is real.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we celebrate in October, Adoptee Remembrance Day because in adoptee land, they're 4 times more likely to commit suicide than a regular person, and I
Yes.
believe that because I
Yes.
had those thoughts twice in my life about taking myself out, and I can't remember. Did I just share with you about the um somebody contact? Oh, I didn't share it with you. This
Yeah.
happened. This happened 2 months ago. So somebody contacted me on Facebook for a friend request, right?
Uh-huh.
So I looked at the name and I go, wow, that sounds looks familiar. So I clicked it. I go, oh, I know who that person is. I hadn't seen her in like in 30 years. Then I clicked on her profile to see her pictures. That person is the granddaughter of the person who molested me as a child. And people used to ask me all the time, is he still alive? I go, I have no idea. Last time I see him was 30 years ago. He's still alive because she had pictures of him.
That's got to be hard. And I want to say, Jim, that I think that your bravery for speaking about this can't be understated because it is attached to such shame and people don't talk about it and it eats people up inside. And especially as a child to have gone through that. So I just want you to know from my perspective and for the 46 countries, 47 countries of people
Hmm.
that are going to be listening to this that have traffic from,
Hmm.
this is so important what you're saying. And I think you had reshared a reel that it said, like, it's not your fault. And I'm not a therapist. I've
Hmm.
been to a lot of therapy and had therapists on the show
Hmm.
and done a lot of reading. And that is so critical for people that are victimized sexually in any way,
Hmm.
especially sexually.
Hmm.
It is not your fault. And
The funny
it's,
part about that is you're talking about a therapist. I just came back from an adoptee conference in Atascadero, probably about 6 months ago, right? And there was a therapist there. Her name is Dr. Liz. She's an
mm,
adoptee, but she's also a therapist.
oh, amazing.
We had a long talk, a lot of tears,
Mm,
and she asked me, have you ever wondered about, or have you ever thought about writing your own book about your story?
yeah.
And I go, no, I barely graduated high school. She goes, no, no, no. Have you ever thought about it? Because I met some authors there too with their
Yeah.
books. And I said, okay. So I started writing my books like 6 months ago, and I'm at 3/4 away right now. And I've never felt so much peace by
Oh,
writing my feelings on a piece of paper than
mm,
me telling you about it right now.
actually,
It's something different.
it's something, yes.
It's all completely something. My soul is resting more now by me writing it down because I had a lot of anger in my life, a lot of anger, and
Justified.
yeah, I write it down now, and it's just like, but I'm remembering things now. But what is teaching me? I'm having more compassion on people,
Mm,
on
yes.
what they were feeling at the time. Like my biological mother, did she have any support? She couldn't even tell me that uh, it was night or day when I was born.
Because
I had to go. Yeah, she
it's like
blocked it all
trauma
out.
for her.
Yes, yes,
Even it
yes.
doesn't justify it, but it's almost like that
Mhm.
quote of like hurt people, and they hurt people, and they hurt, and then
Yes.
somebody breaks the chain. But
I
it
broke the
takes
chain
a
with my
lot.
daughter. Yeah, I broke the. I did a whole
Oh,
complete 180
beautiful.
because I
You
had
broke
to.
that.
I had to. And the people always ask me, "What is the best, I guess, reward you've gotten from being sober all these years?"
Mm,
I says, "When your daughter comes up to you and says, 'Dad, I'm so proud of you.' It's nothing more. I've never felt more joy than my
mm,
daughter telling me that she's proud of me, and she's 39 years old. She's 39 years old, but it doesn't matter. She's still my little girl.
Yes. And
And
it's,
she's my first person I've ever met in my life that had the same blood the day she was born.
oh my gosh. Oh,
Hmm.
that is so, you met your family through, and you like created it with the first person who you felt love from.
Hmm.
Okay. Wow. Because you told me with your wife, the
Hmm.
first time you felt genuine love, and
Hmm.
then you created your genuine family with the first person that's so amazing. Oh,
and that's
sorry.
my
I have a
and that's
daughter
my
too.
story.
I have a daughter too. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Adventures in adversity
yeah,
to the many,
yeah.
many adventures in lots of adversity.
Yes,
But look at
yes.
you now. You got a beautiful daughter, a
Hmm.
beautiful wife, Muay Thai. Your story is literally healing you and saving
Hmm.
people's lives.
Hmm.
And I want to commend you because life is difficult, but
Hmm.
life is very difficult. And again, not in your shoes, but when when you have to deal with what you faced. I just want you to know like that you're like a adversity warrior at this point.
But you know the good thing, the weird thing about that is adoptees, uh, all probably could all agree with me. It's very, very, very hard for adoptees to take compliments.
Oh,
See, I don't know how to
you don't know
react
how to.
when someone tells me you're a very strong man, Jim. You're a warrior. I don't.
You don't know how to receive it.
Yes, I don't know how to receive it because I remember a therapist told me, Jim, write down 6 things that you're proud of yourself. I couldn't do it.
You just don't, you had never been
It
modeled, like
just
you don't even
I
know
was
how.
I'm frozen of thinking
Mm.
highly of myself. You know,
Well, yeah,
and I'm almost 64 years old.
you know what though? What was it? I heard someone, I don't know if it was in church or
Hmm.
therapy because I've done
Hmm.
both and I love both. I love
Yeah,
therapy and I love church. I
yeah,
love
sure.
anything that connects you to somebody or something that can help you heal, whatever that
Hmm.
is, whatever religion, whatever.
Yeah,
For me, it's God and Jesus. For other
yeah,
people, whatever you
yeah.
do, you. But I
Hmm.
will say, if anyone is looking right now, that is a great place to start, or the place to
Hmm.
start is like a higher power. But it's very, I think a therapist said, you have to, oh, no, it was Joyce Meyer, who is
Hmm.
amazing preacher. She gives it to you
Hmm.
straight. She actually was molested by her father growing
Hmm.
up. Her
Hmm.
mother knew about it and told her, I'm sorry, I couldn't handle the shame of telling people.
Hmm.
She ended up taking care of them in her old age because she, got worked through
Hmm.
all that stuff.
Hmm.
But she said, she didn't know how to receive love. You
Yes,
didn't know
yes.
how to, where you have to actually get in a state where after
Hmm.
you pray or after, if you don't receive, you have to let yourself receive it, even though you don't think you
Exactly,
deserve it.
exactly. And that's why I always play that. Well, you shared it on your
Yeah.
Instagram. It's not your fault. People tell me that all the time. It's not your fault, Jim, but
You think it is
I think
somehow.
it is. What did I do?
What did I do?
Did I do to deserve this? But then you were talking about Joyce Meyer and all that. See, the reason why the first book I probably read all the way through, and because I enjoyed it about adoption, was Michael Reagan. You ever heard of Michael Reagan? It was Ronald
I,
Reagan's adopted son.
oh, I didn't know.
So,
Okay.
so his name of his book is Twice Adopted. So his name is the reason why it's twice adopted because he was adopted once, right?
Yep.
Then Ephesians 1:5 talks about being in the family of God. I have that tattooed on my legs too.
There you go.
So
That's why we're connected too.
twice adopted.
Mm,
And that's the first book I read. And when I read that, I go, wow, he knows exactly. We both feel the same exact feelings.
yes. Oh,
So that's my
it,
story.
no,
Yeah.
Jim, seriously. And I know we were talking about before how
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot out of you to tell that
Mm-hmm.
story. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that every guest I talk to, reliving that adversity is both difficult and ultimately therapeutic, though in the
Hmm.
moment, like it brings up stuff, you know. There's a lot of times during this podcast I have to be like, hold up, wait a minute. And I used
Hmm.
to actually get like, oh, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't. And I'm like, this is life, man.
Yeah,
Like emotions are life. Like,
exactly,
and it's
exactly.
okay.
Hmm.
And I as somebody who talks to people who go through all of these different
Hmm.
situations, you, you are the first person that I've interviewed from this perspective of having been an adoptee. I had started with, you know, obviously fostering wishes. And if there's any adoptees out there listening, and
Hmm.
let's say they're at the beginning of maybe thinking about, hey, I think I'm ready, or I think I might be ready to reconnect with, or go on that search, which now I'm
Hmm.
sure there's apps and
Oh
ancestry.
yeah,
I mean, now
yeah,
it's like how it's probably happened pretty quick. Do you
yeah.
have anything you would go back and tell yourself when you started the search that might be beneficial? Like what kind of mindset to go into it with, or anything that you could coach adoptees on, or,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
I
yes.
mean, not like, because I don't know, obviously, but
Something that I didn't do that I should have done when the reunion started. Um, you got to set boundaries.
mm,
You got to set a boundary when if you do find your biological family. Some adoptees don't find. Some adoptees search and
just
their parents already been deceased or something happens in their
just
life.
yeah.
Just see here the stories I've heard from all the adoptees I know now. I mean, just like wow, heartbreaking. And sometimes, like me, you're abandoned again.
Mm.
Sometimes they don't want you to disrupt their life. See, it's not a. I tell people
It's not all.
it's not a Hallmark movie, man. I'm telling you right now.
It,
It goes.
it's a journey.
It's a journey. I always tell everybody, you want to experience what a really adoptee experiences. Watch that movie Antoine Fisher. This is probably one of the closest movies I've seen from Hollywood
That
that will
resonates.
resonates with me because
Yeah.
man, I can still watch it now, and I can still cry the whole time watching it. And that I've watched that movie hundreds of times. It's a 20-year-old movie, you
Yeah.
know, and it's still just like every part of that movie when his girlfriend goes with him for the search and and just touches him on the face and he breaks down because he didn't know what love was because he was molested all his life when his when his he went back to his foster mother and says he wanted to get information about his biological family and his foster parent. He goes, she starts yelling at him. He goes, I'm still standing. I'm still strong. I'm going to win. You're not going to win anymore. That's me. Nobody is going to win this battle no more. I'm going to win now. There's a scene in the movie Creed, in the Rocky movie,
Oh yeah.
and in one of the scenes it says he's getting his butt kicked by the his opponent, right? And he's in the ring, he's in the corner between rounds, and Rocky's telling him, "Okay, I'm going to call it. This is it. I'm going to call this fight." He goes, "Don't do it. Don't do it." He goes, "I got to prove it. I got to prove it." He goes, "What do you got to prove?" Because I got to prove I'm not a mistake. So that's what I've been doing all my life. Even though people say, you're not a mistake. But it's easy for you to say. People always say to me, will you ever heal from this, Jim? No. Till I get home. That's when I'm going to heal. But will I heal? No. I still remember this stuff like it happened yesterday, you know? And
It's tough stuff.
yeah, it's tough stuff,
It's tough.
but I have to I have to be transparent or people won't come to me.
Mm,
People won't not kill themselves if I wasn't transparent. So
exactly.
like, I was preparing myself last night for this interview, and I'm saying, Jim, what are you gonna say? Do what you always done, Jim.
Be
Why stop
real.
now? Why
Be
stop
real.
now? People can see
Mm.
right through you, Jim. And that's true. So that's why I do this.
And you, as are all of us,
Hmm.
we're all a gift, and
Of course.
we're all children of God, right?
Hmm.
And again, I know part of my spiritual journey is realizing that we are like so loved beyond our even that we can fathom.
Hmm.
We 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 can't feel that in our pain, whatever that
Hmm.
pain comes from. all the
Mm-hmm.
different sources of adversity.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard in the moment, but there is beauty when you sort of surrender and realize that, like, the love that maybe people withheld from you or didn't give to you can come back a millionfold in places you can't even imagine, through the eyes of your daughter, your wife, right? Like, these people who come up to you and say, "You speaking your truth helped me stay on this earth.
Yeah.
So by no means were you a mistake. Look at what you've done." And
Yeah.
again, I'm just through the cloudy view of pain, you can't see that, and all of
Mm-hmm.
us can't see that when people are like, "Bree, what?" When I'm, like,
Yeah.
breaking down, being like, I
Yeah.
there's been so many times where I'm like, "What am I doing on this podcast? I can't do it." You know, you get, like, a negative comment, a troll, you get people like, "What are you doing? You're embarrassing yourself." And then I'm like,
Yeah.
some days I'm like, "Ha, that's funny." Other days I'm like, "Should I just stop? What am I doing? This is
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing." And then you just, like, shoo, attack yourself, right? All those. So as a human, I can relate to the
Mm-hmm.
pain for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast was born out of, narcissistic abuse, but
Yes.
again, not the same. But the moment I think that we all are on our knees going, "God, I can't do this anymore.
I can't do it no more. Yeah.
I don't, I can't do it." I had one of those where I was,
Yeah.
and I've talked about it, where I was like, I Googled just so you don't feel like you're the only one,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you
Mm-hmm.
don't, but I Googled, uh, and it was hard to tell my family this, but I did. I Googled,
Mm-hmm.
like, the dosage for, like, Advil. I'm like,
Yes.
what would, and then
Mm-hmm.
I did it in this room, and then I, like, did it, and I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
I can't, but I'm just gonna go to bed. And I, like, slept for 4 hours during the day, which I never do, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that moment. And then in that moment, there was somebody there, a voice of, like, God, or
Mm-hmm.
in my brokenness being like, no, no. But I tell you, people like you sharing your stories, when people are on their knees, they're gonna remember that guy Jim,
Mm-hmm.
who talked about when he felt like that, and look at what you've been through. And I know it's hard for you to receive this, but
Yeah.
maybe you can start receiving all the love that you should have gotten earlier now.
I try to live. You probably heard this line before, but I try to live. Uh, this one guy, my favorite fighter, his name is Kevin the Soul Assassin Ross. He's a Muay Thai fighter, right? One of
Ugh,
the best fighters in the United States. And if you go to Joe Rogan's podcast, he'll
love
talk
Joe
about,
Rogan.
yeah, he'll talk about his sexual abuse as a child. He admits it on the show for the first time. And he always says, I look at a 10, 11-year-old child now and I go, how can somebody do that to that person? But he has one picture in his room. He talks about it, and I try to believe that too. I try to live that. It says, "Be the man you needed growing up," and
Mm,
that's what I try to be. I mean, I could. I mean, I've been in this one gym here in Gilroy for well, I just celebrated 9 years, right? And I talked to a lot of the young men because it's a young man's sport, right? But
yeah.
I'm still sparring with these 20-year-old kids, and
Yes, awesome.
and I'm still keeping up. And
That's awesome.
the best part about it all is I get to talk to these kids about life.
Mm,
I get to pray with them. I get to talk to them about life issues. One of the fighters, his mom is battling breast cancer right now. Well, see, my mom died from breast cancer, so I know what he's feeling. I can see it in their eyes when they're hurting. And I went to him last week. I goes, "Hey, what's going on?" I goes, "Can you see it in my face?" He goes, "Yep. That's why I'm walking over here to you." And he just says, "I could always come and talk to you, Jim." Good, good. That makes me feel good that you could come talk to
mm,
me. A lot of guys ask me, "What should I do?" Well, I could tell you what I did and what happened to in my circumstances.
mm.
But do you want that? Now, I'm not you. I'm not your conscience. I'm not your brain. Now you got to decide what you want to do. But I'm going to tell you what happened to me by doing stuff I shouldn't have done. Now
You
that's
can
up to you to decide.
you can shepherd them
Yes.
through your experience, and, like,
Mm-hmm.
bond with them and get some
Mm-hmm.
exercise. It's those
Yeah.
in between. Oh, I love that. You're
Yeah.
mentoring
Yeah.
them.
See, so
So
I think
amazing.
that's the one thing I enjoyed the most. I mean, even when I went to the tournament in Stockton, I had one guy. He goes, Jim, come over here. He goes, yeah, he's like a champion Muay Thai guy. He goes, I want to take a picture with you. Oh, okay. He goes, why? Because you're such an inspiration, man. I see you all over social media. He goes, man, I can't believe you're this old and you keep up with this. You kicked my ass today. He goes, well, yeah, it's like you hitting your grandfather, isn't it? He goes, damn, you don't hit like a grandfather. So it makes you feel good. And that makes me feel good,
Yeah.
you know. But the other stuff, like you're so strong because what you went through, that's the hard part to take that compliment. I could take the other stuff about oh yeah, you inspire me because you're fighting this and that. But I think that's the part of like I told you the Rocky scene. I'm trying to prove it because see, I, my dad's been dead for 12 years now, but it seems like I've always tried to prove my macho towards him
To hope,
because
yeah,
because I never
and get
received it.
something. Yeah.
Never received it, even though I took care of him with dementia. I had to go and take a shower with them because with the dementia, you're scared of water on there. I had to actually, my dad had so much pride, I had to go in the shower with him and wash them. Now, you look at it
Ultimate
now, I go,
hum.
yeah, just like, wow.
What's amazing to me, the
Hmm.
first thought is, yet he didn't tell you verbally he loved you.
Hmm.
You taught him and showed him actually what love in action. You showed him love
Even
showering.
though, even though he probably didn't know because the dementia
He
just, he
didn't
was in
know,
his
but like,
last stages of it, you know?
but you, that is love. Like you actually embodied what love is, of like doing the right thing, even though Joyce Meyer talks about that she took care of her mom.
Hmm.
She
Yeah.
had so much anger.
Hmm.
And she's like, but God, I'm going to take care of her.
Hmm.
And that was a tough, and it's taken her whole life,
Yeah.
she said. She's like, I wasn't
Yes.
always like this. She's like, I'm still stubborn. She's
Yes.
like, but you should have
Yes.
seen me 40 years ago. She's like,
Yeah.
I would have like, and I'm like, I
Exactly.
just love her because she's so real. I love real
Hmm.
people, you
Hmm.
know? Oh, Jim, you are one hell of a guy. And again, I know it's hard for you to receive that, so, but I'm just going to keep saying it. Maybe you will receive it. And I just commend you, and I just commend you as a fellow human,
Thank you.
because I think that your energy from the second you got on the laptop with here, I was like, oh, he's you're awesome. Your energy comes through. You've got light in your eyes. I think that you are a very special person,
Thank you.
and I'm just gonna pour it all over you there for Sunday, and then you
Okay.
can receive it at some point.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I'm always amazed by how people can take circumstances that feel like they can literally take you out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, do you find yourself these days, when you're in a tough spot, is your go-to Muay Thai, prayer, talking, or like, is it how do you take care of yourself
All three.
now? All three.
Probably all three. And my job, what I do now is I retired, but I work for a street sweeping company.
Oh,
But
cool.
the cities that I go and check out, whatever, are Pacifica,
Yeah.
Monterey, uh,
Nice.
Carmel. So
Beautiful.
I'm at the beach like 4 or 5 times a week,
Oh,
and sometimes um, there's a scene. You ever seen that program? This Is Us.
yes.
Okay, there's a scene in there
Yes.
with the adopted child. The remember he
Um,
goes into the lake.
yes.
He goes into the lake and he goes in there, and his biological mother that already passed away
Mhm.
comes to him in the water,
Mhm.
and she goes, please. She grabs him like this, and he's in the water in the lake. Let it go. And he goes, but I don't know how to. I goes, just let it go.
Just
And then he just screams. That's what I do sometimes.
you just scream. Release it. Mm.
Because I held everything in for so many years.
Scream.
Now I know what to do.
You have the tools and
Yes.
the coping
And the
mechanisms.
water really soothes me.
Yeah.
And of course I'm by myself. I don't want anyone hearing me. You can think I'm a wacko.
Yeah.
Oh shoot,
Oh
better call
well,
somebody for that.
whatever.
Call somebody for that.
That's
But
okay.
yeah,
People
but
think I'm a
that's
wacko now.
yeah. So that's what I do. That's what I do a lot. Quiet time. I have a lot of quiet time. I don't really watch TV that much at all. I'm usually have my headphones on and listen to some music, and that
Yeah,
calms me down.
yeah,
And just like just I
just
do all three. I do all three.
yeah,
Muay Thai saved me big time with anger issues. You know,
yeah. Disciplining
I'll,
those feelings,
yeah,
huh?
discipline, and then if I
Yeah,
have something, I'll take it out on a bag. Of course, I won't
that's
take it on an opponent, but I'll take it out
but
on a bag.
that's when you just lay into
Yeah,
the
just
bag.
lay into it, and then
Yeah,
people will go, "Oh, shoot, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay.
yeah.
Just
I'm better
have a bad
now.
day. I had a
Yeah,
bad day.
just channeling
Okay,
some emotions.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, go for it. You know.
that's actually
So
the best way to do it.
yeah,
Take it out on
exactly.
that, and then
I
it's
mean,
you have to release.
I used to kill the pain with alcohol for all those years, right? And now people always ask me, goes, "How did you quit? Did you do a 12-step program or?" I
Yeah,
goes, "No." I goes, "I had a wake up call. When you ended up in ICU the next day after your last drink, that wakes you up." And I've never do I get tempted? Oh hell yeah, I get tempted. When I see a beer, hell yeah, I want a beer. But I know I
you
can't
know
have
it's on the
one.
other side of
Yeah,
that.
I
You
know
can't have one.
I
Yeah,
know the tricks in this head. I know the tricks, and I always tell people it's like opening up a bag of chips. Are you gonna have one chip? No. Or a bag of corn nuts. You gonna have one corn nut? No. So just like
just don't open it.
alcohol,
Yeah,
I can't. And they say, well, it's not a sin to drink. I goes, no, it's not. It says it's sin to be a drunkard. Could I have one beer? Yeah, I could have a beer, but I don't want to
yeah,
because I know me. I know what goes on in this head, and
yeah,
I'm not going to go in that direction.
yeah,
Plus, I never want to see my daughter see me with a beer in my hand.
yeah,
Mm-mm. It's the
yeah,
last thing I ever want to do.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you took you felt the pain to get there, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it's ultimately like you telling your story as a reminder to people to
Mm-hmm.
like drop the shame. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. We all have adversity. We all have things or substances we've struggled with,
Mm-hmm.
anger. Like we're all just little people trying to figure this
Figure
crazy
this
thing
damn
out.
roller coaster.
And if you want to get biblical, we got all this kind of
Yeah.
crazy stuff coming
We
at us where I'm like, whoa, okay, this is real.
yeah.
That's a whole other story, which I can have
Sure.
you back to talk like spirituality, all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff. With all my guests, I want them all to come back because they're all like my besties now. So
Yeah.
um, I just love anyone who is authentic and able to
Mhm.
take a shitty situation and really just be like, let's talk about it. And I'm going to tell you how I pulled myself out of it.
Yeah. Well, my daughter, she nicknamed me Forrest Gump. She goes, "Dad, you could sit on a park bench and talk to anybody." And yeah, that's me though. That's
That's
me.
awesome.
My wife is the complete opposite. We're
Oh,
like she's
same.
complete opposite of me.
Oh, my husband, like
Yeah.
podcasting would be his worst nightmare. And I'm like, history. And he's like,
Yeah.
are you done now? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, yin and yang, they need us, right?
Yeah. My daughter will say, when we lose you, all we have to do is listen. Listen to Dad's voice because we find you.
That is so good.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
lose you? Oh, there she is. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
exactly.
That's a
So,
good one. Well, Jim, I think we'll put a bookmark
yeah,
on this
yeah.
because I'm gonna have you back
Okay,
to talk about
thanks.
your book. How about
Sure,
that?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're writing it right now.
Yeah, I'm about 3/4 away right now. I'm at right now. I'm at the part where I walked into the store looking for my biological father. That's where I'm at right now. I haven't
You
even got to the being in ICU and all that stuff. I haven't gotten there yet.
you know what? It's you got a story for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have you back to talk about your book, to check in. And thank you again. This was a
Thank you.
wonderful connection. I feel like I've got a Bay Area buddy now.
Yeah, you do.
And I know we were supposed to meet in person, so why don't
Hmm.
we meet in person when you could bring me a copy of the book?
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
order it. I'll order
Everyone,
it and then I'll
everyone's
have it
been
waiting.
everyone's been asking me that, and
You
I
guys are
told
like,
them,
okay, stop asking me. I know.
I'm telling you right now, it's right now it's just for me because it's
It's
calming
there.
my soul, and it, it and I've had people read parts of it. Even Tina's read some of it. She goes, "Wow, this is good," and I go, "Because I'm just writing what I feel,
Yep. It's all,
So,
that's
mhm,
the way to go.
mhm.
Well, Jim, thank you so much. I'm going to
Thank
put a
you.
link to all of your pages and any
Mhm.
causes or organizations that you would like me to put in the show notes about for adoptees,
Sure.
any books that you recommend
Mhm.
besides your own that's coming up, I will recommend that. But yeah, I really look forward to this being published because I think this kind of raw, authentic conversation is really needed
Mhm.
in the world. And people
I
like
think so
you
too.
make it I have no doubt that you light up rooms that you walk into, and because of you've managed to keep that light despite what life has thrown at you, and I really respect that.
I
So,
have to.
and you are, we all do, right?
Mhm.
We all have to keep going.
Mhm.
And yeah, and there's beauty on the other side, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jim. Well,
Great. Thank you.
I hope you have a beautiful Sunday, and
Mhm.
we'll be publishing this in a couple days if that's cool with
Okay.
you.
Yeah, that's fine. You do what you
Yeah.
need to do.
All right.
Okay.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
We'll
Thank
talk
you.
soon.
Bye bye. Love you.
Bye.